Good morning, students. We have started with a new topic, that is system of particles and rotational motion. And in that, we have considered what is the meaning of the rigid body, system of particles and rigid body. The rigid body is the one which has a definite shape and size and which does not undergo any change in its shape under external forces. The deformation of the body is not seen. Deformation of the body is not observed under the normal forces. And when such body undergoes motion, what are the types of motion that we have learnt? Translational motion, rotational motion. The translational motion, all the particles of the body undergo same speed as the speed of moving body. Motion of a body as a whole is called translational motion. And then we have learnt rotational motion. In the rotational motion, there is a fixed axis about which the body undergoes the rotational motion. Example is the ceiling fan. Now we will understand one more interesting motion. It is called precession. What is that precession? For example, suppose this is a top. You must have played with the top, spinning top. This is the axis of rotation. And this is the point, a fixed point upon which the top spins. When it is spinning, if you observe it carefully, the axis of rotation itself also undergoes oscillatory motion. Once like this, another type like this. So if you draw the axis of rotation, the axis of rotation itself undergoes a certain other kind of motion, oscillates, it oscillates. If you look at this axis of rotation, it oscillates like this. Must have seen such example. So this movement of axis of rotation, the movement of axis of rotation about the fixed point is called as precession. The movement of axis of rotation about a fixed point. There is a fixed point. This point is not changing. This point is fixed. And about this point, the axis of rotation, this is the axis of rotation, initial axis of rotation. But if you observe carefully, this axis of rotation itself keeps on changing like this, keeps on oscillating like this. So this kind of motion is called precessional motion. Another example is pedestal fan or table fan. Table fan also you must have observed. Table fan, if it is fixed at one particular direction, it undergoes only rotational motion of the blades. But the table fan has a facility so that it can change its direction nearly about 180 degree. You must have observed, you must have enjoyed. If I keep a table fan here on the table, I can operate that press button. If I press that button, then the table fan blades, they change their direction like this. When you observe that change their direction, the axis of rotation changes its direction. The axis of rotation oscillates. So this is an example of pedestal fan or table fan. So if you roughly draw the diagram, This is connected to a support here, and there is an option. This is the axis of rotation passing through the center, and these are the blades of the fan. The blades of the fan rotate, and the blades of the fan rotate, they rotate about this fixed axis of rotation. But this has a movement. It moves towards left as well as towards right, towards left as well as towards right. As a result, what happens? This axis of rotation itself keeps on oscillating. So such a movement is called as precessional movement or precessional motion. Precessional motion. Precessional motion. So translational motion, then we have learned rotational motion, then we have learned rolling motion. Now the last one, precessional motion. Precessional motion, 4 types of motion. Translational, rotational, combination of these two, rolling, and the 4th one is precision. Precision takes place when there is a movement of axis of rotation about the fixed point. There is a fixed point here. We will call this point as O. The axis of rotation itself oscillates about this fixed point. So such a motion is called precessional motion, or in short, precession of the axis of rotation. It is said that the Earth, the Earth has axis of rotation, fixed axis of rotation. The Earth, we know, revolves around the Sun. The Earth keeps on revolving around the Sun. Not only that, the Earth rotates around its own axis, of rotation. It rotates around its own axis. It undergoes spin motion. The rotation is also called as spin motion. So this is spinning top. See. So the Earth has revolving motion around the Sun and rotational motion around its own axis, and also in addition it has precessional motion also. The axis of rotation also undergoes slight precession. So you can Google search precessional motion of Earth. You will get interesting facts about precessional motion of Earth. That will definitely affect even the years that we calculate. So that I am leaving it to you, that option. Google search precessional motion of Earth. It will be interesting fact. Okay. Now in this topic we are mainly concentrating on only rotational motion. Only on rotational motion. Translational motion already we have learnt. Rolling motion we are going to learn finally. After learning rotational motion, the combination of translational and rotational is called rolling motion. This we are going to learn at the end. So before that we concentrate on rotational motion in detail. Okay. Now we are going to discuss one very important point before we go into the details of rotational motion, that is center of mass. Position of center of mass. Okay. What is center of mass? It's very important concept. So before I go for actual finding the position of center of mass and its coordinates, it's a mathematics. I will demonstrate one simple thing from this scale. I think all of you can see this. This is a scale. So this is a linear body, right? And the mass of this scale is uniformly distributed. The mass is uniformly distributed, means its density is uniform throughout its length. This is half meter scale. Now what is the meaning of center of mass? See here, if I bring my 2 fingers closer and closer, closer and closer, closer and closer, at one point, you see, I can balance this entire scale on a particular point. You can see this is the point at which the entire mass of the scale is assumed to be concentrated. So if I exert a force here on this point mass, I can balance this entire scale. I can balance this entire scale. Otherwise, I need to have two support. One support here, another support here. So this is the point what we call it as center of mass. Center of mass is that position of the mass at which the entire mass of the body is assumed to be concentrated. I think you got the point. So I am carrying 50 centimeter scale, half meter scale. So when I say that this scale is of a uniform distributed mass, if it is of uniformly distributed mass having the same density, definitely you can say the center of mass will be at 50 by 2. 50 by 2 means exactly at 25 centimeter. So I am balancing exactly at 25 centimeter. So this is very simple for a regular body or a linear body wherein the mass is uniformly distributed. In other cases where the mass is not uniformly distributed, then it becomes difficult to find the center of mass. See here. Now it is very difficult for me to find out the center of mass. If I hold it, okay, I can try to find out the center of mass. Right? So what is center of mass? Center of mass is that point at which the entire mass of the body is assumed to be concentrated. At which the entire mass concentrated. Entire mass of the body is assumed to be concentrated. And the force acting at that point, you see I have found out the center of mass, you see, and exactly at 25 centimeter I got the center of mass. And I am exerting force. I am exerting an upward force which can balance its weight. It means it is the center of gravity also. The point which I am showing you is center of gravity, because only force that is acting in absence of my upward force is gravitational force. The gravity is making the body to fall to the ground. The gravity of the earth is attracting it, so that the body attracts. The body is accelerated towards the ground by gravitational force. I am applying an upward force which is exactly balancing the gravitational force acting on this body. Means I am exactly balancing its weight. So it is also in this case center of gravity. Center of gravity and center of mass are same in this case. So if an external force acts at that point, that is equal to the total external force acting on the entire body. If I am applying a force on this, the external force acting at this point is equal to the sum of the forces acting on the entire body. So center of mass is that point at which the entire mass of the body is assumed to be concentrated, and the external force acting on it is equal to all the Means if I exert an external force at that particular point, it is equivalent to balancing all the forces acting at the different points of the body. So that is the meaning of center of mass. If I just hold it, you see, it tends to move like this or tends to move like this because of gravitational force. Suppose I am holding it here, it tends to rotate like this. If I am holding it here, it tends to rotate like this. Means at different points the force of gravity is acting. So throughout the body, if you assume that this body is having different masses at different positions, you see gravitational force is acting at all the point masses. So gravitational forces are acting vertically downwards. So if I exert one particular force exactly at the center of mass and center of gravity, all those forces acting at different point masses is exactly equal to the force acting at that center of mass. That's what I have written. The external force acting on it is equal to all the forces acting on the entire body. So that is what we call as center of mass. Center of mass is that point at which the entire mass is assumed to be concentrated, and the external force acting on it is equal to the forces acting on the entire body. Okay. Now how to find out the position of center of mass? To find the position of center of mass. In further discussions, we are going to write short form center of mass as CM. C for center, M for mass, center of mass. Short form. To find position of center of mass, first we will consider two particle system. For a system of two particles, consider there are two particles lying on x-axis. Very simple case. Suppose this is x-axis. There are 2 point masses. This is a mass m1 and this is mass m2. They are of different masses. Now consider this is the position of the origin. Position of origin, this is y-axis and this is negative y-axis, right? Y-axis, positive y-axis and this is negative y-axis. I am considering a system of two particles, only two particles, lying on x-axis, right? Now, let us assume that m1 is at a distance of x1 from the origin, m2 is at a distance of x2 from origin. M1 is at a distance of x1 and M2 is at a distance of x2. Then what is the position of center of mass? Let me assume that this is the position of center of mass. It need not be exactly at the center because masses are different. If the masses are same, then you can say, as I said just now demonstrated, if the mass is uniformly distributed, exactly at the center we can find out the position of center of mass. If M1 is greater than M2, then the center of mass will be closer to M1 with your experience. If M2 is of mass greater than M1, then center of mass will be closer to M2. Let me assume that this is the position of center of mass. Center of mass which is at a distance x, capital X. Let x be the position of center of mass. Then how do you find out the position of center of mass? Then it is defined by position of center of mass of two particle system is given by x equal to m1 times x1 plus m2 times x2. m1 times x1 plus m2 times x2 divided by m1 plus m2 divided by m1 plus m2. This is called as mass weighted mean. Mass weighted mean. So the position is calculated as mass weighted mean. You must have learned in maths. Mass weighted mean. mass weighted mean or mass weighted average. Mass weighted average. M1 x1 plus M2 x2 divided by M1 plus M2. Suppose 3 points are lying on the same x-axis. Suppose 3 points are lying M1, M2, M3. Then the center of mass now becomes M1 x1 plus M2 x2 plus M3 x3 divided by M1 plus M2 plus M3, where x3 is the position of that point mass M3 and M3 is the mass of that point mass at position x3. So this simple definition of center of mass helps us to find out the position of center of mass of n number of particles lying along the same line along x-axis, lying along the same line along x-axis as mass weighted average. Mass weighted average. So center of mass x is equal to M1 x1 plus M2 x2 divided by M1 plus M2 if it is a 2 particle system. Now let us see third particle not lying on this x-axis. If this is lying somewhere here, third particle lying somewhere here on the xy plane, then how to find out center of mass? It's interesting. Before that, let me conclude one more thing. If the masses are equal, if M1 is equal to M2 is equal to M, then what happens? You see, x becomes equal to M into x1 plus M into x2 divided by M plus M, 2M. M if you take out common, x1 plus x2 divided by 2M. The M cancels. When you cancel M, then you are left with x1 plus x2 divided by 2. This is happening if the both masses are of same values. That's what I said. If it is a scale exactly at the center of geometrical center of that scale, you will find the center of mass. Is it not the geometrical center? Average position means it is the geometrical center of line joining those two masses from the origin. X1 plus x2 divided by 2 exactly at the geometrical center. So that happens if and only if masses are of same values. Now let us see center of mass for 3 particle system. Before that, if the number of particles are n particle system for a system of n particles along the x-axis, for a system of n particles along x-axis, then x becomes equal to M1 x1 plus M2 x2 plus M3 x3. It continues like this up to nth particle. Mn xn whole divided by sum of all the masses M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus and so on up to mass of nth particle. So this is how we find out the center of mass of n particle system. This is the position of center of mass. So this can be written in short using the knowledge of your statistics and maths. Summation of mi xi, where I is equal to 1 up to n divided by summation of I equal to 1 up to n. So in the denominator, if you see, sum of all the masses gives you mass of the entire n particle system, mass of the system of n particles. So I have read that mass of the particle n particle system, mass of the system of n particles as capital M. So if I write it, then it becomes I equal to 1 up to n mi xi divided by m. So this is the simple meaning of position of center of mass. Position of center of mass. Now let us find out position of a 3 particle system if the third particle is not lying on the same x-axis, if it is lying in the xy plane. Let us see. Consider a system of three particles on xy plane. This is the origin, x axis, y axis, and these are the particles of mass m1, particles of mass m1, particle of mass m2, and particle of mass m3. Now let us say this is coordinates of this point mass m1. x1, y1 will be coordinates of point m1, point mass m1. x2, y2 be the coordinates of the position of point mass m2, and x3, y3 be the coordinates of the position of mass point m3. Now how to find the center of mass? Now we will have two coordinates, not only x coordinate, you will have a y coordinate also, because these particles are lying on the xy plane. Therefore, first we will write the x coordinate of center of mass. Position of center of mass. Position of center of mass now becomes x, y, capital X, capital Y. What is capital X? Capital X is equal to, simple, as we have defined earlier, weighted average or mass weighted mean, m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 whole divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. And what is y? In the same way, the y coordinate becomes m1 y1, because we have to consider y coordinates also. m1 y1 plus m2 y2 plus m3 y2 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. So you can generalize for n number of particles. So you can generalize for system of n particles. If it is a system of n particles, we get m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 plus and so on up to mn xn. So for system of n particles, summation mi xi, where I represents ith particle. I means I may be first particle, I may be second particle, third particle, from that particle to last particle. So we have to consider mi xi. I equal to 1 up to n. Here n is 3. For this example, n is equal to 3. For any number of particles, if it is 4 number, if it is a system of 4 particles, then n becomes 4. If it is a system of 5 particles, n becomes 5. If it is a system of only 2 particles, n becomes 2. More than 1 always, right? So if it is system of n particles, mi xi divided by total mass of the system becomes capital M, where it is summation of mi from I equal to 1 up to n, as I have done just now. So similarly I can write summation I equal to 1 up to n mi yi divided by capital M. So this gives you the position of center of mass. So approximately let me take this as the position of center of mass having coordinates x, y. So if you look at this and draw a triangle consisting of 3 points, join the lines, you will get a triangle. You will get a triangle. So you can see now this center of mass becomes the centroid. You must have learned in maths the centroid. The centroid of this triangle made out of 3 particles. So center of mass is the centroid, the geometrical center or centroid. It's not geometrical center because it is having particles of different masses. Centroid of the triangle. Okay, centroid of the triangle is xy. That that is equal to these values xy, summation of mi xi I equal to 1 up to n comma divided by m, and summation of mi yi I equal to 1 up to n divided by m. So this gives you, okay, centroid means, okay, I will clear the point. Centroid means the geometrical center if and only if the masses are equal. If the masses are equal, then what happens? If all the three masses are equal, I can write here, if m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m3, then it becomes perfectly a centroid. Then center of mass is the centroid of the triangle, centroid of the triangle of the particles, triangle made by the particles. In this case, what is xy then? In this case, xy becomes equal to summation of, you see, for three particle system it is very simple now, x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3, x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3, because m cancels, x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 3, m cancels, and this one becomes y1 plus y2 plus y3 divided by 3. So this becomes the exact geometrical center. That is what we call as centroid. So with this we will conclude, and tomorrow we will learn more about center of mass. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.